back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome to my TBR tarot for the month of April. I apologize first and foremost for the lighting. I am using natural lighting that's coming in this way, so it's making my face on this side look very bright and everything else look really dark, but I just don't have the energy to go pull out my light, so I apologize. It's also gloomy outside, so if the light shifts at any point, I apologize. We're just gonna roll with it today, but we are gonna sit down to do my TBR tarot. If you guys have never seen a video like this from me before, basically what I do is I use my Fairy Loot tarot cards. They have an assigned prompt to them. I use that prompt to pick a book off of my TBR every single month. I will always leave a playlist down below of other people that do TBR tarot since it was not my original idea. If you would like to go check out any of those videos, they are always linked. And I'm just going to jump in and see how the month of April is going to treat me. March was a very interesting month to say the least, and I didn't really do my best in March. I was in a little bit of a slump. I was coming out of February where I had read a bunch of books for Rom-Com Spoonathon, and I just wasn't in the right space to read books that I was obligated to read. So of course I will go through how I did in March and let you guys know what I did and didn't do. I'm already letting you know I'm going to be pulling a punishment for this month because I just don't see myself finishing it. It is currently the 24th of the month and I still have many days left, but I have some obligation reads that I have to get done that are going to take precedent, and I'm not going to get everything done. So we're just going to cut our losses and get ready for a brand new month in hopes that it'll get me excited to read the books that are on my TBR for April. So for last month with the Emperor, I chose Highest Bidder by Sarah Kate, and I did not read this. I am going to still try to get to this one this month, but if I don't, oh well. For the Seven of Moons, I chose Hunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton, and I finally read this. For the Four of Moons, Isaac chose The Atlas Paradox. I have not gotten to this one yet, and I probably will not get to it before the month is over. For the Moon, I chose The Fabric of Our Souls by K.M. Moronova, and I did read this one. For the Two of Stars, I chose Always Mine by Laura Pavlov, and I did read this. For the Three of Stars, I chose Rock Bottom Girl by Lucy Score. As of filming this, I have not finished this book, but it is my book club pick for the month, and we do have a live show on the 29th, so I will of course be getting this read. For the Five of Stars, I chose Tempt Our Fate by Kat Singleton, and I did read this. For the Knight of Stars, I chose Malice by John Gwynne. I'm not going to get to that one this month, unfortunately. I did start it. I got like 20% of the way through, but I was just struggling with reading fantasy, and so I am not going to be able to finish that one. For the Knight of Pentacles, I chose Love Unexpected by QB Tyler, and I did read this. For the Nine of Stars, I chose Stone Princess by Daphne Perry, and I did read this. For the Seven of Stars, surprisingly, as much as I was excited for Bride by Ali Hazelwood, I did not read this. If I can get to it this month, great. If not, it is what it is. And lastly, for the Ace of Moons, I chose Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison, and I did read this. So I read a good majority of the books. I just didn't get to everything that I would have wanted to this month. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm happy that I read anything that I did read because the slump was trying to hit me hard. So I will take the little wins and hope that April is better to me. Let's just also quickly talk about my spinner wheels for March and April. So for my last month's spinner wheels, just to give you a quick recap on how I did, I started and DNF'd my Kindle pick, which was Sign of Seduction by Eliza Lovelace. I tried it, I didn't like it, I DNF'd it. My series continuation pick was The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I did read Scarlet this month, which I was supposed to read in February, but I didn't get around to it, but I'm going to count it as a win since technically I did continue on with that series this month. I just haven't gotten to Cress yet, but I am still hoping to finish that before the month is over. And then for my sub box pick, I chose Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong, and I am featuring that book in a vlog that I am currently filming, so that book will be finished by the end of the month as well. So we're working on it, we're getting there, but let's also talk about my spinner wheels for the month of April. So let's go ahead and kick it off with my Stuff Your Kindle Day spinner wheel. For this, I got Freestyle by B. Page. This is the first book in a series. It is a dark why choose like dance book. I have no idea what this is about. I picked it up obviously for free on Stuff Your Kindle Day, but I love a good why choose romance, so listen, I am not going to complain when the spinner wheels gives me reverse harem because literally that's my favorite trope or my favorite subgenre of romance that I can read, so I will eat that shit up. Hopefully I enjoy it. Then for my series continuation, I got The More the Merrier, and this is a book that I read, the first book in the series I read last year, and that was Tangled in Tinsel. It was a Christmas novella, a why choose novella, and the next book in the series is called Not So Lucky. I believe this is a what is the thing that we just passed? St. Patrick's Day. So I'm a little bit late on this by 1 month, but it's a St. Patrick's Day why choose romance. Again, I'm not going to complain if you're going to give me why choose, okay? Thank you very much. I'm so excited for this. I really, really, really loved the first book in the series, so I'm excited to catch up with the next book. I don't believe the third book is out yet, but it is set to publish sometime this year. And then finally, for my subscription box spinner wheel, I got Forget Me Not by Miss Julie Soto, which is actually perfect because this is the book that I had picked for my buzzword for this month, for the month of April. It's like nature words, and Forget Me Not is actually a flower. It's a forget-me-not flower. So I chose the play on the words in the title as my nature word, but there's also nature on the cover. There are flowers and stuff. So I figured like that this would work perfectly. And literally 2 months in a row, books that I had already planned on reading in this month, out of all the books on those spinner wheels, actually came up. So I am literally not going to complain. I'm so excited for this one. This is like a second chance, enemies to lovers, romance that takes place in the wedding industry. Both of them run like floral shops and they're planning weddings and they have to be back in each other's presence, and it is a romance between the two of them. And I am literally so excited. I've heard nothing but good things about this one and I'm just excited to get around to it. I want to see what all the hype is about. So this one does not make me upset at all. Okay, so now without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into my actual picks for the month of April as well as my punishment pool. Alright friends, let's go ahead and pull my punishment for the month. A physical read. Alright, as you guys saw for my punishment pool, it was a physical read, and I am kind to myself even with my punishments. This is not supposed to be every single book on my TBR are physical reads because I would literally never get through them. You guys know I am a audiobook girly through and through, so that is not going to happen, but I do have to pick one book on my TBR to be a physical read regardless of like anything else on my TBR. So one of them has to be a physical read off of my physical TBR. That is my rule for myself, and I definitely think I can complete that because there's one book that I am really looking forward to reading that is a physical read. So it actually worked out perfectly this month to have this particular punishment. Okay friends, my deck is shuffled. Let's go ahead and pull for our very first pull. The Three of Moons. Okay, our first pull of the month is the Three of Moons, and this is a bestie pick. I'm so excited that this one came up again. I love it when the besties get to pick a book for me to read, and Nikki came in clutch this time and chose a book that I am very, very excited to read, and that is Shadows of You by Catherine Cowles, the 4th book in the Lost and Found series. I have not yet read the 3rd book in the series, but don't worry, it's coming up in this video. So just stay tuned for that. But this is a small town romantic suspense series. The first book I absolutely loved. I read the 2nd book last month and loved it so much. I'm so glad that I was able to, you know, finally move on with that series. And now I get to read 2 books in that series this month, and I'm literally chomping at the bit for it. So I don't really know what the synopsis of the 4th book is and what it entails. I just know that I'm excited for it and I know I'm going to love it. Nikki blew through the entire series in the month of March and literally made me even more excited to pick them up, and I was already pumped for it. Alrighty, pull number 2. The 8 of Pentacles. Pull number 2 got us the 8 of Pentacles, and it's been a little while since we got this one, but this is a random number generator. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little list that I have of my limited TBR, all of the TBR books that I have currently sitting in my house, and I'm going to use a random number generator to pick a number and then use that number to pick a book off of my limited TBR, and then I'll read that for the month. So I am always nervous for this, but let's definitely see if I get a good one. Hopefully I do. Hopefully it's not too long and I don't want to cry. Okay, friends, let's go and look and see how many books I have on my limited TBR. I don't even remember. But some of this numbers might not be right because I don't take them off until the end of the month because I include them in my wrap-ups. So if I get one that I've already read, I'll obviously spin again. But we are at 239 books. So let's go into my random number generator at 239. We're going to randomize it 3 times, of course, because that's what I always do. And let's see what we get. 1, 2, 3. I'm nervous. 3 is a false start. I don't think I can read that one because it is a book in a series. A false start. Yeah, that's book 4 in the Gold Rush Ranch series. So obviously that's not going to work. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. 26. These are low numbers today. Let's see what I get. 26 is Bought. Again, that's a book in a series, so I will not do that. And let's do it one more time. 3rd time's the charm, maybe? 209. Okay, we got a much higher book here. So let's see. 209 is The Spy. Is that the next book in the series I need to read? I don't know. Okay, the next book I need to read is The Bully, but I actually cannot read The Bully until I read Ivan, so I can't read that one either. The next one that I get, if it is part of a series, I will just read the next book I need to read, but I'm gonna do it one more time. Fourth time is The Charm, apparently. 1, 2, 3. 235. Holy shit. That's like at the tail end. Ew. I guess I'm reading a Coho this month. That's not what I was expecting, let me tell you that. Okay, so I got Without Merit by Colleen Hoover. I have kind of grown out of my Colleen Hoover love. I used to read a ton of her books last year, or even the year before that. Probably the year before that, honestly, I read more. But I just haven't had an inclination and a want, need, or desire to pick up any of her books recently. But I did bring them to this house specifically because I wanted to read through the rest of her backlist so that I can get them off of my TBR. So I guess that is the purpose of these prompts, is for me to read books on my physical TBR, get the number down. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. I just wasn't expecting to read that one this month, so it is what it is. I don't know anything about this book. It says, not every mistake deserves a consequence. Sometimes the only thing it deserves is forgiveness. Interesting. So we shall see if I like this one, see if I still like Colleen Hoover's writing. I remember it being like super easy and fun, and I have given everything that I read from her, or for the most part, 5 stars. So we shall see if the trend stays true. Pool number 3. The Five of Moons. For pool number 3, we got The Five of Moons, and that is to read a most recent purchase. And for that, I'm going to be reading Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt, which is actually perfect because this is the book club pick for the month of April for the Swoony Readers, the book club that I host with my besties, Karina, Dana, and Nikki. Of course, I will leave their information down in the description box below alongside the Swoony Readers Instagram. But we are reading Funny Feelings in the month of April, and I'm so excited for this one. I literally cannot wait for it. From what I can remember, it is an age gap workplace romance between a comedian and her manager. I also believe that it's has some disability rep, if I had read the tropes properly. Not the tropes, but the tags on Goodreads. Somebody has tagged it as disability rep, so I am very excited to give this one a go. I've heard nothing but good things, and hopefully we love it as much as everyone else says that we're going to. Pool number 4. The Hanged Man. Pool number 4 is The Hanged Man, and that is to read a romantic suspense. And of course, I talked about this already. I am going to be reading Glimmers of You by Catherine Cowles, the 3rd book in the Lost and Found series. Again, I don't know the tropes for this one, but I do know it's small town. I do know it's romantic suspense. That's all I know. That's all I need to know. It's Catherine Cowles. I've loved this series so much, and I'm so excited for books 3 and 4. Pool number 5. The King of Pentacles. Our next pick is The Knight of Pentacles, and this is to read a mood read, which is great. I always love a good mood read, and for this prompt, I usually will choose a book that I'm going to read throughout the month, and I can change it at any time. I can always change my mind on this particular book because it is a mood read, and I should be able to mood read it. However, I'm going to fit in my punishment book for this particular slot because I couldn't fit it into any of the other ones, and that is going to be Broken Perfect Lies by Katie Wismer. This is a physical read. I will have to read it physically. No audiobook is available for this one, so I can't even, like, pretend that I'm going to read it physically and then pop in an audiobook. There is literally no audiobook that exists. So I'm going to read this one. I recently read this in a try a chapter tag, and I was very excited to pick this one back up. So I'm hoping that I can pick this one up and read it and love it as much as I did on the first 2 chapters of this book. I have loved Katie's writing and her journey as a writer over the past several years, so I'm excited to pick this one up and see if I like it as much as the rest of her works. Pool number 6. Death. Okay, our next pool got us Death, and this is to read a mafia romance. For this, I'm going to be reading Dom and Becca. I actually think the original book is called Dirty Dom. These are the discrete covers of her, like, color changing series. I don't know if you guys know anything about Willow Winters, but she's huge on TikTok, and she has, like, all of her series color coded, and if you put them all together, they make this, like, really beautiful rainbow. I found 10 of the books that were all, like, grouped together at a used bookstore, so I snagged them all up, and this is the first book in the series. It's called Dirty Dom. The discrete covers just have the name of the characters on the front, and I think it's really funny because literally, I was on sprints with a couple of my friends earlier today, and we were talking about this book, and I was like, oh, I own the audiobook, I just picked this up, I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but they're short. And then I had the opportunity to put it on a TBR, and I was like, perfect, no one's gonna stop me. So I'm excited to give it a go. I don't really know anything about what this is about. I do know that it is mafia, and I do know that it's, like, following like a mafia family over the next couple books. So we shall see if I like this one. I have read A Wheel of Winters in the past and I didn't love it, so I'm trying to give this author a second go. Pull number 7. The Knight of Stars. Up next, we have the Knight of Stars, and this is a poll from last month, so we will have to go from 8 to 9 polls for the month of April, but that's totally fine. This prompt is to read a book featuring royalty, and for this, I'm going to pop in Fairest by Marissa Meyer, I think it's like 3.5 in the series following Queen Lavanna. Obviously, Queen is royalty, so I'm slotting that one in. It's a perfect, easy read for me to put into a TBR tarot that doesn't put too much pressure on myself because I'm going to read it anyway since I'm buddy reading it with friends and it's short. So not going to complain in the slightest. This is not my favorite book in the series by any means. In fact, I think when I first read it, I rated it 2 stars. So we shall see if I will like it upon a reread, but I am not keeping my hopes high for this one. But it's part of the series, so I'm going to read it and it's going to be quick and easy and fast, so cross your fingers for me. Pull number 8. The Judgment. What would have been our last pull number 8 is The Judgment, and this is to read a Marriage of Convenience story. And for this, I'm going to be reading Cruel Seduction by Katie Robert, the 4th or 5th book, I don't even know at this point, in the Dark Olympus series. I've been trying to keep up with the series. I'm currently 1 behind, not including this book, so I'm definitely doing my best to keep myself in check with the series because she is cranking them out like crazy. But this one is a Aphrodite and Hephaestus retelling. I really enjoyed the first couple of chapters of this book when I read it in my try a chapter tag, and it was at the top of my priority list, or at least one of them. And this is a marriage of convenience between the two. I am very excited for this one. This one seems like it's going to be a really good time, and I flipped open to the front page and there is actually a picture, and I believe this has more people in the relationship than it originally says, because at the bottom in parentheses it says and Pandora and Adonis. So what? I'm confused. I don't know, but I am excited. So hopefully I can get to this one and love it and move on to the next and last currently published book in the series before she inevitably cranks out another. And what is hopefully our last pull number 9. The Page of Wands. And our last and final pull for the month of April, and that is Page of Wands, and this is to read a book with sprayed edges, which is perfect because the book that I already need to read does have sprayed edges, and that is Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. I did already talk about this one at the beginning of the video, so I'm not going to harp on it too much, but I am excited and I'm glad that I was able to stick it in for my TBR Tarot prompts. Alright friends, here's my TBR Tarot stack. It doesn't look too bad, but please keep in mind that I have 3 other books that I have on this TBR that I don't actually own. So it's gonna be a little bit more of a feat than it looks here in my hands, but I am very excited for all of these. I do have a physical read. Everything else I have on audiobook, and I am very excited to get to them. If you would like to join us for our live show and our reading sprints for Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt, make sure to check out the Instagram down below where you will get all the updates, and let me know if you've read any of the books I talked about today and what you thought of them. Also, feel free to share with me what is at the top of your TBR for the month of April and how you're doing with your reads for 2024 so far. That is the end of this video, though. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you made it to the end, don't know anything else to comment, leave any type of like magical emoji, like the potion or the glass ball or a sparkling emoji or a witch. I don't know, any type of magical emoji that you feel is apt. Feel free to leave that down in the comments below. I love you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and of course leave any comments, questions, suggestions in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Baby, turn it down like a sweet and ready. Boys, keep it nice and steady.